What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is the big day. We're gonna see if this old rust bucket, sorry Greenie, see if this truck will start today. We're gonna do a few maintenance items first that I know need to be done. Carburetor needs to be addressed, need to put new spark plugs in it. The fuel tank is in it that I installed in a previous video, but it's dry, so we gotta add gas, of course. That's kind of a major component. Fill it up with radiator fluid and see what happens, I guess. Should be interesting. So I actually had to go to the auto parts store and order these spark plugs here to match the old ones, and because the old ones are quite rusted. They might be good, but I didn't trust them. I'll show you what I mean. So check it out. You can see, we zoom in here, I already have one of the new ones installed, but look at the rest. Would you trust that? I sure don't. So I'm gonna swap these out right now. All right, all the new spark plugs are in. As you can see in the last video, I installed a new coil. I have electronic ignition now. You can see on top of the valve cover here that I have a new water pump, because when I was changing the bolt in the last video, it's already leaking, as you can see underneath, which is a classic sign that the water pump's going out. I imagine it's because it's been sitting and the gaskets have dried up. We'll see. If I get it started and it just starts pouring out, I'll change the water pump. But for now, we're gonna make sure that the radiator has it full of liquid. And next, let's go ahead. I forgot to mention earlier, I'm gonna change out the fuel filter. Obviously that looks freaking nasty. So I'm gonna put a new one in. Man, I finally got it out. Look how nasty that thing is. I assume this used to be clear. Now I'm gonna put in one of these glass styles. Should be a lot better, although I might have to change the element in a couple of times, just because I'm sure stuff that, even though I clean the fuel system out, is still gonna come through into the filter. But that's to be expected from a truck that's been sitting this long. All right, there's the fuel filter installed. So now we get to do the fun task of changing the oil. Who knows how old this oil is or how much is even still in it, but I guess we're about to find out. There it goes. Hopefully it's all oil. It doesn't get to be radiator fluid or something. Well, while I'm waiting on the oil to fully drain, I'm gonna go ahead and top off the radiator fluid. I'll probably end up doing a flush in the future to get all the rust and stuff that might be in there, to see what kind of shape the radiator's in. But you can tell it's lost some. It's not full, so I'm gonna fill it up now. Now I'm actually going to use you guys. You guys can help me. I'm going to make sure I'm actually getting spark to the spark plugs. So I've taken the #1 cylinder out. I re-plugged in the wire to it out to the side, and I'm going to use the camera to see if I'm actually getting spark to it. So let me know if I'm getting it. Okay, so another step in this process of trying to get this whole truck started is I need to rebuild this carburetor. So I have the 1-barrel Rochester carburetor out, and I also have my carb cleaner over here. I got some screwdrivers and some tools. Since it's a single barrel carburetor, it should be pretty simple, but keeping track of where everything went and the adjustments that were set prior is going to be important. Assuming this truck ran, which I was told that it did. Man, the throttle feels sticky already. Anyways, so let's see if we can't get this thing torn apart and get it cleaned up. Now, obviously, if you're going to rebuild this carburetor, you're going to have to need a kit. I got this one off of eBay by Walker. The only thing that makes me nervous about this kit is it's for several single barrel carburetors. So it's more of like a universal kit that encompasses several of them. So that makes me a little bit nervous that they're not going to have the right parts for this carburetor. But I guess we won't know until we tear it apart. Worst case scenario, we'll try to clean up all the parts ourselves and see if we can't reuse them. And if we have to, we'll go to the auto parts store and make our own gaskets. My goodness, look at all this dirt and grime and old fuel that came out of it. That was all inside the carburetor. So, I would say this needed a cleaning. All right, we have the other two halves apart. It's time to start taking this guy apart. Be careful on this needle. It actually has a little, oh, as I drop it, it has a little BB in it. So you don't want to lose that. Ooh, look at that rust stuck in there. A little piece of rust sticking out. All right, so as you can see, all the internal components are out of it. So now I'm just gonna let this and the other components soak in carburetor cleaner and come back. All right, so here is the carburetor kit. Hopefully it has all the gaskets and stuff we need. All right, so now we have all the carburetor cleaned as best as we can get it. All the passages are cleaned. I blew through them with carburetor cleaner. It's time to start putting it back together. And this is the part where you hope you remember how it came apart. So a tip for that is to take lots of pictures, which I did not do. So that's gonna bite me in the butt. Hopefully we can figure it out and put this thing back together. All right, now that we have the carburetor rebuilt, it's time to put it on. And I think I can remember how it goes. All right, guys, so a little bit of change of plans. I put the carburetor on as you saw me doing, and I got it on there, got the fuel lines hooked up, everything adjusted after me rebuilding it, and fuel is coming out of the carburetor, not through anything that I adjusted incorrectly, but there are a set of bearings that are in there. I guess they're bearings. Anyways, it's the part that kind of rotates whenever the throttle is applied, etc. And they're worn out. So I guess whenever I took it apart, it started leaking fuel out of there. And I can find a rebuild kit, as you know, because I rebuilt the carburetor, but that specific part is really hard to find. I have not been able to find it. So my intention is, a long run is to go ahead and put the original back on, but for now I got a new carburetor made by Daytona, which people have had really good results from, and we're going to put that on. So let's go ahead and put the new carburetor on. And here's the new Daytona carb that we're going to install today. Now off camera, I cranked the engine to try to get fuel from the fuel tank through the lines up over to the carburetor so I could purge it. You know, it's standard procedure, right? Make sure all the gunk is out of the line since you've opened the system. And guess what? No fuel even made it to the fuel filter. So I'm pretty sure that this fuel pump is locked up, or the diaphragm is ripped and it's not pumping any fuel. So I've got a new fuel pump. Hey, it was only like 56 bucks, so why wouldn't you? So we need to take this guy off and install a new one in order to get gas pumping to the new carburetor that we're about to install. All right, and here's the old fuel pump. You can see on this end, the line has been on there for so long and it's so rusted, it pretty much twisted off. So I'm gonna have to replace that line, I guess. But here's what the original fuel pump looked like. The arm looks better than I thought, but I guess that's to be expected, right? Because it doesn't see anything, it's in a closed loop. However, if I were to spend that time to open up where the diaphragm is, I bet it's quite nasty. So for now, I'm just gonna grab the new one and throw it on there. And here's the new one. If you can see, much better looking. So we'll have to probably get a new fitting for it, you know, because these are so rusted and old. So I guess time to run to the auto parts store again. All right, as you can see, the new fuel pump is installed. I also have new rubber line running in and out of it with new fittings. The rubber, of course, is going to be temporary. I just don't want to invest into a pipe bender right now. And I'm going to run the new fuel line over to the new carburetor that we're about to put on.
To explode. Oh, it swings wide.
It's like a tractor on a truck frame.
And there are no seat belts. Incredibly unsafe G, going 25 miles per hour.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to see more like it, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Remember, it's free. I will be more on top of these videos, and we will be doing a lot of work to this truck here in the upcoming weeks. So be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.